What's up, you guys? Rener G and T City.
What up?
Gracie University headquarters. The second Omoplata in UFC history happened a little while ago, and we're still excited about it. So we were at class tonight, gearing up for Brian's next fight and just getting down, training, going over some positions. And then we reviewed the video, and we were like, wow. And the first thing Brian said was, "Oh, heavyweights."
Well, you don't see heavyweights doing submissions in general. You just see, that's why people pay to watch heavyweights, because it's a knockout. So when you see them grappling is one crazy thing, and then when you see them busting out crazy submissions like we were about to show you.
Omoplata heavyweight. And why is Omoplata so rare? Why is it the unicorn of MMA in the sense of it never happens? Is because, number one, you're using two large limbs to control a small limb. And even though that sounds like, oh, great leverage, still it's two legs controlling one arm. And that arm is like a little wet noodle in there, especially round two, which it was. And just very impressive. It's very easy, it's not very easy, but there are a lot of escape options, which we're gonna show a couple of them. But first, let's go through the position. We're here in the guard. It was kind of against the fence. We're kind of crammed up. A nice angle, and then just whipped this foot in front. And then he started crossing his feet, and right away, his opponent started facing him. But how does that feel? You don't want to turn into this, right? Like,
if I turn into you, armbar is right.
Yeah, armbar, and even if you turn over the shin right here, Gogoplata right here. If this was even in the vicinity, right, pretty rare as well, almost like the Omoplata, but there's a Gogoplata here. So his opponent quickly realized that you can't turn away. While Arjun was putting pressure on this, then he kind of tries to limp arm out of it, but it gets kind of stuck. But when it happens, the arm switches sides, and that's where it was pretty impressive. This went to there. And when it switches sides, it's even looser. Because he didn't spread his ankle, this hand didn't have access to the ground. He inverted his legs, he kept his knee so close that he then leaned forward, and then his shoulder totally compromised. So this idea of the Omoplata, conventionally it's right here, it's locked in like this on the near side. This is where it normally goes down, because my body traps Brian's arm and he's not getting out. So when his opponent tried to limp arm out and it switched sides, most times this means you're getting out. But because his opponent got proned out, got belly down trapped like this, he wasn't able to limp arm anymore out of it, and it got stuck. And that's whenever this happens to me, I typically will hook this wrist and lean forward and then lift it with my hand as we drive up and over in that situation. So just beautiful. Let me try that again. So just so beautiful. Nice little angle. Perfect setup. The 1.5, which is when you bring your shin in front, is kind of the most conventional setup here, because you can't hit me, and then suddenly you start grabbing this foot and you start folding it in front. And like I said, it feels like you want to turn into it until you don't, right? It feels like everything this way is tighter. So then they typically, and normally, one escape for Brian is a big limp arm away fast. Go. That's very possible that he limp arm. The problem is the longer you resist to doing that, the more likely that I'm able to put pressure enough to now it kind of gets stuck, right? And what will happen is, at this point, there is a point of no return for Brian, which is when I invert my legs and I start to sit up. But if before that happens, he can tilt me back and off balance me, then limp arm out of it, look, now he's free.
Yeah, so what you do is from right here, you hook onto your thigh if you can, because if you try to just pick his whole body up, you can't.
But
if you hook your inside leg right here, if you hook it, and then go ahead.
Yeah.
And once you hook it, you have like a lock, and you use this hand and your legs, and you kind of sit up and you toss them back. And the second you toss them back, then you shoot forward and limp.
Wet noodle right there. You see how limp his arm was when it came out? And my legs can't stop that. They can't grab it, especially no gi. A lot of times Omoplata's no gi because they're grabbing the sleeve and they're lacing it and they're holding the sleeve right here, which is keeping that from happening. But the minute it's no gi and it's slippery, and Brian throws me back real quick, look. One, and then two. By the time I get back up, there's nothing. He's coming up out of the fight there. If that's not possible, the most common defense for the Omoplata is the cross body jump. So right here, if he posts his hand and just does a jump across the body here, and he lands right here, now he's coming up inside control, and he's passed, and he's escaping the Omoplata. Let's go back. So if ever you catch the Omoplata, and you end up in this situation where I angle, I start to throw it in front, and there's even the slightest chance of this cross body, I'm gonna do something called spreading the wings right here. So instead of me sitting up with my core and kind of doing my own sit up here, as Brian makes his jump, look, I do this, jump across, I spread the wings here and I use these, go back down. So he tries to lift his leg up and jump, I go right here like boom, and I use him. It's kind of like, I'm kind of swimming. So from here, once I get up, boom.
Well, you just keep shooting your hips out.
Now it's all about the shrimping and shrimping, because what I want to do is drag these shoulders to the ground. And if I lose the hand, don't stress. Still got to invert this leg, hug the body. You can even lock hands right here. You can hold this if you want to avoid it from slipping out. And then the key is push off the ground, drive your forehead to the mat, and drive this knee to the mat. Everything goes up, everything goes forward, pressure all the way in there at the same time. Catch me once. So here, we're in like a 1.5 over here on this side. Start to bring his other foot in front of my face. Look, once it lands, starts to lock. I try to face him until I don't. Then I go the other way. He starts to sit up. That was beautiful. Go back. And if I try to bring the legs in front again, if I try to do the cross body jump, he just spreads his hands, look, and he just keeps scooting, keeps scooting, keeps scooting, and then frees. If my hand slips, click, he keeps it right there, leans on my body, hips up, drive forward, and he got him. It's so good. Omoplata.
Especially from heavyweights.
Yeah.
That kind of movement doesn't really. That's why it's a super unicorn.
Super special, you guys.
You can see big heavyweights just rolling around like that.
Yeah, very impressive. And omoplatas, get good at them. And what's normally what happens is they're not used for submissions. That's what happens. You set up an omoplata so that the guy limp arms or rolls. One of the most common but inefficient responses from a finality perspective is just rolling forward, right? So if I have Brian here,
Sweet, yeah.
yeah, you just go here. The omoplata is usually used here where we catch it, and typically they'll just you grab his leg, you swip, you come on up, and now we're on top of the fight right there. So you see how I anchored onto Brian's thigh? Right here. Like if I get to this point and I'm making my angle, I'm holding, I'm pushing, I'm bringing my foot in, slow. He starts, watch this freeze, slow. Right here, instead of the wings, the minute I realize he's not trying to cross body jump me, instead I hook his calf right here, look, and I whip my legs out of the way. I don't want Brian to land on my legs, come back a little. I don't want it to land like this, roll back, like that. I don't want that, because now I can't face him, he's gonna get up on top of me. Right, go back. So here, instead, when we land, I go like this, boom, and I whip. Right, then I hand off, and then I come on up on top, boom. And then Brian put me in the guard, Brian's turn, omoplata either side. Look, he's here, I'm gonna roll, he hooks my calf barely, look, come on up, chest to chest, and we're back on top. It's a good little flow drill right there. He rolls, move the legs out of the way, push the guard, boom, catch the omoplata. Look at that, right there, coming up. So that's normally how it happens, but Arjun's opponent did not roll. He stayed on his knees, tried to stay strong, and because of that, he started to feel a little pressure, then he laid on his belly, and then it only got worse from there. You don't want to end up on your belly ever in an omoplata. So you guys, learn from what you saw so it doesn't happen to you, and respect the omoplata. If it's not part of your game, if two heavyweights can do it, no-gi, round two, sweaty, in MMA,
yeah. There's no reason why you cannot do it.
thank you. Anybody can get away with it, you guys. So practice those. April 30th, Hidon's in Osaka, Japan. Make sure you check him out. And we're in Hawaii. Hidon and I, Oahu, Honolulu, Hawaii Super Seminar, which is May, May what? 5th. It's May 6th. It's a Sunday.
I might stop by, just saying.
Yeah, Brian might sneak in the luggage and get over there. Super Seminar, 3 seminars on one Sunday, me and Hidon. Trust me, if you're anywhere on any one of the islands, you want to get there, except for a few people. All right? We'll see you guys there. Much respect. GracieUniversity.com/seminars. And we'll see you on the mat. Thanks, guys.